In this episode of Playlog, we're talking about our 10 favorite indie games, Adult Swim games not delisting their titles, and my thoughts on the Dungeons of Hinterberg Playtest. Hey guys, CGDannyB back again with another episode of Playlog, the podcast where we talk all things indie gaming. But of course, I couldn't do this alone because talking to yourself about indies, kind of boring. So I've got my partner in crime, the play.nice.kids themselves, Tofr. How you doing today, bud?
I am fucking tired.
Well, it's only been, a couple hours? You're just chilling?
It's like past midnight here, and I've had a very long day, but the thing is, indie games are amazing, and I'm here for it.
Exactly. We're going to try and, maybe not streamline the episode, but like, maybe not, aim to not have a 2-hour episode today, because you're just like, I'm ready for bed. I'm ready for bed. We'll take note next time and maybe record 2 in a row and we'll just figure that out, or yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get there.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh man, but guys, thank you once again for watching Playlog Podcast. This is our 8th episode, I think.
Yeah, it is.
And I didn't mention this at all before. I know we talked about maybe like every 10 doing a live episode. So like, I don't know what that looks like. Did I just tease something that might not happen? We don't know. We'll figure it out. But we're like, Danny, episode 10's on. I'm like, tough shit. Oh well. But no, I thought that'd be fun. Figure something, that was something you brought up. So I figured maybe we'll plan something. If you guys want to see a live episode for every 10, leave a comment. Engagement's king. Daphne, I know you're doing it, so Daphne's got her.
Let us know
her non-obligatory comments on every episode, so we'll take them. But that aside, it is time to break the ice with a little bit of questions from you guys. Remember, you can write into the show using the form in the description, whether you're on the podcast services or on YouTube. There's a link for a Google form. You can write in, tell us your favorite indie games, or ask us any questions you have about content creation, life, gaming, etc. Just like Jacob McCourt did. Jacob McCourt writes in to ask, I know you guys have already done an indie draft, but to get to know you better, I'd love to know what each of your top 5 indie games are. Build us a list of 10 recos. I've never seen someone write recos, but like recommendations, you know. Thanks y'all. Great job on the show so far. Jacob, beautiful friend of the show.
Thank you.
Yes. Does video game trivia. Love Jacob. Handsome devil. Can't wait to hang out with him again sometime. But yeah, we both threw together a list. I figured we've done so many lists at this point and some of these games we've talked about before. So rather than doing like a whole paragraph for each, we kind of do a short like 1-2 sentence thing. Like, I like this game, blank, blank, blank. Next one. So we can kind of maybe not do a top 10 list podcast every episode, but
yeah, let's just power through.
Exactly. So I'll let you go first. What's on your list?
All right, my first pick is Citizen Sleeper. It was my favorite game of like 2023, I guess.
Sounds right.
And it's like it's based on tabletop RPGs. You use dice to evolve the story. But it's just so smartly written. It's a sci-fi adventure, but it's like this very human story at its core. Like, you don't even play as a human, and yet this game is all about humanity, and I adore it for it.
Yeah, I gotta get to Citizen Sleeper. That one's in my backlog. I gotta get to it soon.
You should.
Let me see. My first one, no surprise, is Cuphead. I freaking love this game.
What?
I have replayed Cuphead more times than I can count. 200% of it, so many times. It's challenging. It's rewarding. The art style is beautiful. The music kicks ass. Cuphead's just awesome. I die in the grave with like Cuphead and Bugman engraved on my tombstone, like for real.
I get that.
But next for you?
My next pick is Firewatch. It's alongside with another of my picks. It is the walking simulator. If you want to know like the full potential of what walking simulators can be like, it's this game. You play as Henry, who like gets a job as in this nature reserve to get away from his messy life, and things get even messier, and it's fantastic.
It's a good one, dog. The one that showed me what walking sims can be. So yeah, Firewatch,
yeah,
banger. Burbs over there going, yeah, they said Firewatch again. Let's go. Next for me, another one that's no surprise, Shovel Knight. I've talked about Shovel Knight to death. I started streaming talking about Shovel Knight. My gateway drug for indie games. Classic. Great level design, great characters. The Order of No Quarter all looks super dope. If you love classic like Mega Man style things, you get to pick your boss and kind of go from there. A little more linear with like which bosses you go to, but it's just a classic. I think indie fans around the world, well, most indie fans around the world have played Shovel Knight. So calling your ass out. Go back and watch last week's episode
What?
if you don't know
Me?
what we're talking about. Me? Unless you somehow played Shovel Knight in the last week. Yeah, you.
No, I haven't.
Good. Go play Shovel Knight. The next
will.
one you have, I'm not familiar with this one, so I want to hear about it.
It's this fantastic game that just does not get enough love. It's called If Found, and it's about a trans person in a very Catholic country in Ireland.
Ooh.
And gameplay is basically you erase stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and it feels very topical because at the same time, your identity is being erased by people not acknowledging your identity.
Oh, shit.
But at the same time, you want to erase everything that's happening because all of it is just that bad.
Yeah.
But in the end, it becomes this heartwarming story. And also, alongside that, there's like this sci-fi narrative alongside it, which is just it fits together perfectly, and it's one of the most powerful storylines I've ever witnessed in a game.
Hell yeah. Is it a long one? Couple hours? You know how long it is?
Couple of hours.
Cool. Yeah. No, that one looks cool. I just look at the art style. It's a very like sketchbooky kind of thing. That one looks cool.
Mm-hmm. And you literally have to erase, like you use your mouse and you just swipe across the screen.
Hell yeah, dude. Another one for the list.
Yeah.
My next one, again, I have like the 4 that I talk about on repeat, maybe the 3 I talk about on repeat. The next one's Moonlighter. I stand Moonlighter so hard. One of those games that I bought on sale on Switch just for like the hell of it, and just fell in love. The amount of times I've lost hours of sleep to Moonlighter, where you get the shop handed down to you from your parents. You now run the shop during the day, but you need stuff to sell. So you go dungeon crawling at night, which is like your real passion. You go out, you kill some monsters, you bring their stuff back. You have to figure out the prices. So you put it on the shelf, charge $5. Ooh, that's super cheap. Yikes. I lost some money. Bump it up to 15. That's way too expensive. Damn. Now I got to drop it down. 10, sweet spot. And you do that for every item that you find. It's so much fun. I wish I could count the sheer amount of hours I've lost to Moonlighter. Loss is the wrong word. That I've given to Moonlighter. And I will always retweet when I see that game on sale. Right now, I think on Steam, it's like $3. If you haven't bought it, you're a coward. Oh, wow. Go play Moonlighter.
Yeah, and just like for the art style itself.
Yes.
Like the art style is fantastic. It's probably my favorite art style from any indie game.
Yeah. Like, aside from it, like, it's my number 3 for sure. For a while, this and the other game I'll talk about are, like, battling for my number 3. But this one, I always find myself wanting to tell people to go play. When I'm like, I've already said Shovel Knight and Cuphead, I should talk about something else. Moonlighter, banger. I recommend it so often. Like, I go play it.
Yeah.
But next for you.
Next for me is another one from your list of shame. It's Night in the Woods. Night in the Woods is another narrative adventure where you play May, who is a college dropout who returns home to her hometown and the family and friends that she left behind. And it's this fantastic story about feeling lost in the world and like how life moves on without you if you like let it. And it's just a fantastic feat of storytelling. It has these really fun rhythm game sections where you play music. This is one of those games where you're like, if you want to recommend indies, that's one of those games.
Banger. Well, so I've heard. I'm sure it will be a banger when I play it. Next up for me is Owlboy. This was my first Let's Play when we started doing content on YouTube. I remember seeing trailers for this, and this was a game that was like in development for so long, and it is stunning. I do not know what is in the water over at D-Pad Studios, but their pixel art is just so on point. If 2 billion bit pixel art's a thing, that they're doing double that. It's insane what they're doing over there. But it is a Metroidvania platformer type deal. You play as Otis. He's a mute boy. He's an owl. half boy, half owl, in this town where he's like, you can't talk, you're a freak. But then goes on this big adventure. There's a war between owls and pirates. Some amazing characters, dope designs. I was going to say stunning, but just gorgeous soundtrack. It's sitting in my car disc tray as we speak. Every time I turn on the radio by accident without my Bluetooth, I get that intro song for Owlboy. I still have to play Savants, whatever the newest game is, because they just added Otis and I forget which other character they added. They added a couple characters from Owlboy to their new game. Now I have a reason to go play it more than just the art. But yeah, Owlboy's a banger.
Amazing. I should add that to my list of shame.
Would recommend. Would recommend.
Yeah. My final pick is another walking simulator, but it's one that packs a punch. It's What Remains of Edith Finch. And this is another narrative walking simulator, but it's much more than that, because aside from, like, you visit the Finch household and you get to discover the history of the Finch family, which seems to be cursed. And you get to play like all these different vignettes of gameplay describing how each family member lived their life. And my God, what a feat of storytelling.
Yeah, dude.
Especially the ending, which I'm not gonna spoil here, but this is like a couple of episodes back we talked about the game you could replay for the first time.
Yeah.
I might have to change my answer to this game.
It's a good pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. For Firewatch being like my first real walking sim, that made me understand, like, if you are unsatisfied with the story of Firewatch, which many people are, just like that ending is very like, not bad, but it's not a happy ending. So people are like, oh, I wanted happy. I think Edith Finch storytelling alone just trumps Firewatch like 10 times out of 10. I think the world that you're in within Edith Finch is amazing, impeccable. I like almost would love a What Remains of Edith Finch 2. I don't know how you do that without like, how do you measure up? But it's a banger. It's a good one.
It really is.
Yeah.
Now tell me about your final pick, because that's probably your favorite.
It's see, Cuphead will always be has recently become like my favorite game of all time. AAA, indie, anything. I played it so many times, I've just realized this is my favorite. But the Monster Prom series is something I wish I could inject into my blood on a daily basis. I didn't do dating sims. Dating sims weren't my thing. I didn't get it. But Monster Prom introduced me to what a goofy dating sim can be. That is insanely fun. Where the first one, you're trying to find your prom date, but it's super raunchy. Everybody's 18 plus in the game. So you're trying to take a 22-year-old ghost who's like, I died, and the only way to bring me back to life is to do some crazy sex act. Or a Gorgon who's just like, you're a baby back bitch unless you can make me some money. And then you have like goofy Scooby-Doo style werewolf man who's just like, oh, well, I don't know, I'm just having a good day. Like, the cast is incredible. Each entry adds new characters, new lines of dialogue, new adventures. You're going camping, you're going on a road trip. The new one's about going to conventions, and like, I'm sure that's going to be a blast. I love these games, and they've spawned a few other ones like Doomsday Paradise. I forget the timeline of Monster Prom to Dream Daddy, but then I went back and played Dream Daddy after playing Monster Prom. And again, not all dating sims are for me, but Monster Prom has showed me if it's funny, goofy, colorful enough, I'm totally in. So I'll just take 17 more Monster Prom games for the rest of my life. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
a really good choice. I think we've got a pretty decent list here.
Absolutely. Run through it again. We had Citizen Sleeper, Cuphead, Firewatch, Shovel Knight, If Found, Moonlighter, Night in the Woods, Owlboy, What Remains of Edith Finch, and the Monster Prom series. That one's cheating. It's technically 4 games, but fuck you if you're arguing with me. Anyway.
We make the rules here.
Exactly. Go make your own podcast.
Yeah.
But yes, Jacob, thank you again for writing in with your question. Jacob Killer does a bunch of podcasts, video game trivia, crossplay conversations, Left Behind podcast. If you're looking for something to listen to with that beautiful man, go check him out. Oh, man. But yes, with that aside, it is time to move on to some quick indie news. A few banger titles here. To start off, Warner Brother reverses course, not delisting Adult Swim video games. You familiar with this at all? With the Adult Swim studio closure type deal?
I first picked up on this when they announced that small radios, big televisions was going to be delisted.
Yeah.
And I just thought like that was a sad thing. Like we live in an age where ownership of things is becoming questionable.
Yeah.
Because we only have them like as digital files. And
Right.
it's like I'm glad that they reversed course.
100%.
These games deserve to be like available.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna be for everyone, and that's fine. That's what indie games are all about.
Yeah, but if they're delisted, then they're not there for anyone. So I'd rather have them accessible. For context, because we kind of went a little bit into it. Warner Brothers did a bunch of closures recently. We might have all heard about like the Acme versus Wile E. Coyote movie, Batgirl being canceled, shut down, deleted, whatever. But they also, I don't know if they closed the Adult Swim section for game publishing, but a bunch of indie games under that umbrella were going to be delisted on all platforms. You basically couldn't play them. This included a bunch of like indie bangers. We had Duck Game, Death's Gambit, Rain World, Pool Panic. You had mentioned, which one did you just mention? Small Radios, Big Televisions was on there. Mega Coin Squad, and that's just like a handful of them. But these are all games that are going to get delisted and you couldn't buy on Steam console platforms anymore. So a bunch of devs were like fighting to Adult Swim games, like, hey, sell me the right back, give me the rights back, whatever the case is, so I can continue to sell this game and people can still play it. But yeah, I'm getting this from, sorry, I didn't quote it, Michael McWhorter over at Polygon. I won't read the whole article, but please go check it out for yourself. I feel like reading gets a little mundane for me, so maybe I just won't do that. I'll just kind of nitpick and quote there. But essentially, it looks like Warner Brothers has been kind of piecemealing some of these devs back their properties. Owen Deary, the lead developer behind Small Radios, Big Televisions, he had said, like, ownership and store listings will return to me. So he said, I'm getting these back. It will not be retired. And then the same thing happened with Landon Podbielski. I apologize. The developer of Duck Game, who was just like, it's not going anywhere. So it looks like he's getting the rights back for his game as well. I'm hoping this just continues to domino effect, avalanche down, so that all of these games that are potentially getting delisted get back to the right developers, and whether that's self-publishing, finding a new publisher, whatever that timeline looks like, they get their games back, because video game preservation's a mess as it is. And that's where you get in the argument of like, is emulation okay? Is it fine? You're talking people who are emulating Switch games. That's piracy. Versus emulating an old NES game that you physically can't get because all the cartridges burned up and I don't have a working NES and it's impossible for me to play. It's not on the eShop, whatever the case is. So yeah, just losing some of these titles to time or like a studio closure just sucks. So I think having whatever means are needed to preserve that game for a future audience is super important.
It really is. Yeah. And also indie game studios needed like a big positive. Because the last few months have been rough.
Yeah. I mean, especially AAA, they've had a lot of closure and stuff, which led me to another article that the next one on our on our tab here. Big studios are making big cuts, but indie gems are still out there. This one was written by Keza McDonald over from The Guardian. Again, I won't read through the whole thing. This is basically a great article gushing about indie games. In the last couple weeks, if you saw last week's episode, we talked about the closure of like Tango Gameworks, Arcane Austin, and losing a bunch of IPs like Dishonored's a weird, but I don't know where that one stands, but things like Hi-Fi Rush and like what's going to happen in those future of those franchises. Because it kind of goes through and says, hey, just keep your eye on indies, by the way, because there's a bunch of bangers that dropped this year. They mention Hades 2, Manor Lords killing it on Steam, Helldivers 2 coming out of nowhere and people loving it, Pal World, Balatro, a poker roguelike made by one guy that stole the entire week. Stole almost this whole year. Like, it's sitting at the top of many people's like game of the year list because Balatro was addicting. Talking about Crow Country that came out last week, Another Crab's Treasure, Harold Halibut, and how like a lot of people, the same thing I'm preaching is that so many people have nothing to play because their big studio has a game they don't like, or such and such studio's closed, and I don't want a closure of a studio to sound like, well, at least you got something else to play. But I do think a lot of people hinge on AAAs and miss out on what else is out there. And I think this is a great article that showcases just a crap ton of indies that came out this year that people should be keeping an eye on.
It's a good time to like make this article as well, because this month is probably one of the most insane months I can remember for
wild.
indie games.
So
wild, it's a good time to publish this. We still have tons to come, and we'll cover them later in this podcast as well.
Yes, absolutely. I'm sitting here, I'm like, I think I'm playing 2 or 3 redacted things as we record this, and I'm like, fuck. And then I got like 2 more next week, and I ain't gonna get them done. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't have enough hours in the day.
It's insane. Like, before this month started, I made a list.
Yeah.
Because there were so many games coming out, I needed to make a list of what I really wanted to play. And then I still managed to only whittle it down to like 15 games.
Yeah.
And that's before Hades 2 dropped.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Damn you, Supergiant. I asked you not to. The one guy on Twitter that said, hey, how about we not do it in May? What if we did it later? And you said, fuck that Danny guy. Post it anyway. No, but Hades is banger. I just completed Hades this week. I've played through all that's available for the early access, beat all the bosses, so I got the thanks for playing, we still have content coming, but like I've got that itch and I don't know where it's gonna fall. Like, will I just put it down for the next 6-7 months, and then 2025 when 1.0 drops, will I pick it back up and continue, or what that's gonna look like for me? But I'd like to see it through to the end. I've beaten the final boss, but I don't know what that entails for the plot or what the narrative is. So we shall see.
We shall see.
But yes, big studios. Layoffs are never great. Cuts are never great. It sucks. So many people losing their jobs. Again, I know there's a number in the thousands of layoffs in the games industry this year. And I did that thing where I put a haunting thought in my own head just saying that sentence of like, how many of those people got laid off, got a job in another studio, and then had those layoffs again. Like, I hope no one had to go through like 2-3 rounds of layoffs while hopping around jobs. That just sounds terrible. I hope that didn't happen to anybody, but like in my gut, I feel like it has. That sounds so shitty.
Probably. Like, with the amount of layoffs, it seems almost impossible that it didn't happen.
Yeah, because I think Square announced them earlier this week, and just another tally on the wall, man. Someone just stop buying yachts and pay your devs. Just be chill.
Yeah.
But on to a happier note. You like sales, Tofr?
I do.
Because we got some sales for you. Over on the eShop, there is a massive Humble Games anniversary sale over on the Nintendo Switch. Some games up to 75% off. There's a whole list of different games on sale, but I just picked out a couple important ones here. A Hat in Time is $14.99. Dodgeball Academia is $9.99. Go play that one. I love Dodgeball Academia.
Yeah.
Ghost Song, $11.99 if you like Metroidvanias. Very closer to the Metroid than Castlevania, but Ghost Song's out there. Moonscar's $13.99 for those of you like Blasphemous, The Last Faith, games like that. An indie banger that we know Tofr's in here with, Slay the Spire, that I put $2 signs next to. That was on sale for $8.49. Might have been $8.99. I don't know if that's a typo on my end. And of course, another banger, which I would argue maybe has the best visual storytelling in any game ever, is Unpacking, which is on sale for $9.99. What a cozy and dude. We could sit here and do a whole podcast about the storytelling of Unpacking, because it is wild. The things that you'll like maybe not notice because you're in your head, you're just like, I'm just going to put the books on the bookshelf. But when you look around the room and you see like, oh, interesting. There's a guy's clothes in my house. I must have gotten married. I can't really find a spot for my stuff, and my super fluorescent pink laptop doesn't really fit with the vibe of his gray and black room, and I want to put my video game console up, but he's got a bunch of encyclopedias. Like, where am I going to put my stuff? You're like, interesting. Tells the tale of this person pretty well. It's, God, Unpacking's so cool. Unpacking's so good.
It really is. I felt so conflicted playing this, because on the one hand, it's so satisfying just putting stuff in their place.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, there's like a really emotional story being told, and it's one of the biggest it's one of the most impactful stories I've played.
Yeah. Give me Unpacking 2. Let me play another one. Just start slapping 2 on the end of these games. Let's do it. But yes, if you are a Switch player, you're looking for some new indies, I'll just quickly blaze through. I see The Wild at Heart's on there. That's a Pikmin-like one. $9.99. Stray Gods, the musical, is on there. $20.99. Signalis, Ring of Pain, One Step from Eden. There's a whole list. So please go check out on your Switch. I don't see an end date for that sale. Runs to the 20th of May. So you have a couple days from this episode being posted to grab some new indies for you. So go do that.
All right.
But with that is some quick indie news in the book. And now we can move on to the topic of this episode. Dungeons of Hinterberg, Tofr. This playtest dropped this week. Another one of those May shadow drop type deals that I said, God damn it, I have so much other things to play, but could you like maybe hold off for a second? Just give me a few days to play some other things. But I've been waiting to play Dungeons of Hinterberg. I know you got into the playtest, but have you got a chance to play any of it or like launch it, just download it, touch it at all?
I haven't. I downloaded it, but I haven't even managed to finish the game I'm reviewing this week. I just have not had it. But please do tell me about it because I am really like curious to what you thought of it.
So I have played through what's available at the playtest. It's basically two major levels, and there's a little bit of like the exploration towards the end, which kind of gives you the hey, thanks for playing. Once for anyone who's not familiar with Dungeons of Hinterberg, it is a 3D action adventure game. You are playing as this young lady. She goes on a vacation, and that vacation is to become like a slayer, and you're killing monsters and solving puzzles. The art style is very cell shaded, doesn't seem like the right word, but like cell shaded with stippling. It's got this really interesting art style to it. Let me switch over for some footage here. But basically what happens, your face is all cut out. Let me fix that. No, not hiding the face. Now they can see the doc. Hide the doc. They're going to see our notes.
Oh, no.
Doesn't matter. But no, so you get into town, and when it starts, you get the tutorial intro level. It's like, here's how your attacks work, heavy and light attacks. Here's some of the creatures you're running into. The video you're seeing, if you're watching on the video version, this is you getting into town, getting ready to go on your first adventure. The first boss is really cool. You're kind of getting to learn like some of the mechanics, how to explore the map, how to take on some of these bosses. And then once you get back, you kind of get to explore the town. So it's in like a slice of the day on the clock type deal. You go out, you do the mission, you come back, it's midday, mid-evening. You can go to the shop, go hang out with a friend. You're building relationships, and as you build these relationships, you get stat increases. So you either get more health, more magic gauge, just increase the friendship, which will then later lead to new mechanics. There's one person you'll meet. I want to say Kevin is his name, might be misremembering, but he's very hipster photographer like. You meet him in one of the levels and he's like, I'm here to take pictures, but they're not paying me enough to go that far in, so I'm not going that far. I'm gonna hang back here. But you're like, well, I gotta go that way anyway if you want me to take pictures. He's like, meet me afterwards at the coffee shop, we'll talk, we'll figure it out when you go meet with him. He's like, here's an extra camera I got if you go take pictures. I don't actually know what it means. I don't know if you get paid currency for it or if you just like get XP or whatever. But you get to meet these extra characters and kind of explore the entire world. The other character you meet, I think her name was Alex, super bad, gorgeous, and like she's the first one you kind of interact with, and she's just like, oh hey, what's going on? You're like, do you want to hang out with me tonight because you're a pretty cool person? She's like, ooh, I'm busy, go hang out with someone else. I'm like, fuck, my first rejection, I can't take it. No, you're so hot though, please hang out with me, but in the nicest way. She rejects you in the nicest way.
Okay.
But you also get to the second level is kind of the first one you get kind of set free on your own. They're very like open zone with the level design. I'll cut forward a little bit to get maybe a different level here. But you kind of, each level you go into your own little world, you explore the dungeon, you're beating bosses, there are puzzles. The second level kind of gives you the first one where you unlock like your magic abilities. You'll see here on the screen again, you drop like a big bomb and you can use that to blow up enemies or to get through different obstacles. So there'll be like rocks in the way. You can drop the bomb, blow that up, get to a secret area, or find the path you need to go to. I will say the combat's a little heavy, it's a little clunky. I am assuming with the release in July, this is probably pretty stuck on how it's going to be. I don't know if that's going to feel better with like upgrades where eventually I can swing a little bit faster, or my movement speed's increased. It is not I don't want to say it's bad. It's not like, oh man, this ruined my whole experience. I can't play any more of this. I have to try something else. Like, this won't be it. Just one of those things where I think the puzzle solving and the exploration is going to be a lot more my speed with this game than strictly the combat, but not enough to be like, combat's bad, turn it off, leave me alone. Okay. Long to say, it's a little clunky, but not terrible. There's your answer. Okay. But yeah, like in this level, once you get through towards the end, there is like a minecart section where you get in the minecart, you take it to the path, and once you get out, you have to open a gate or change the rail path, and then you go back in the cart, travel backwards, but not you switch it, it'll take you up where you need to go. But now there you gotta drop a tree or a gate or something, go back and take it again. So there's these like railroad type puzzles. I've really enjoyed all the puzzles so far. I think they're not overly complicated. I think there's a couple that were like head scratchers. And I'm like, oh, Danny, look up. You see the thing that you totally missed. That was what you need to solve the puzzle. But every dungeon is concluded with like a big purple door and a stamp. So you have like an adventurer's journal where once you finish a dungeon, stamp the puzzle, move out, you've completed it. And with that, you'll move back home. And again, this is where you're talking about the meeting with other people. Hey, do you want to go get a coffee? Coffee with me, or hang out, get dinner, everything like that. And then cycle back. Sorry, the dog's barking. I got distracted like 3 times there. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. It was one of those games, Travis, not Kevin. Sorry, Travis. I knew who you were. But yeah, one of those games, the moment I saw that splash screen, I said, thanks for playing. I'm like, no, I wanted like 1 or 2 more levels. I wanted a little bit more. I wasn't ready to stop yet. But I'm infatuated. I'm having a blast of what I've played. I can't wait to play more.
Okay. I'm getting like vibes of Fable meets Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, very, from what I played, I fucking hate that this keeps closing on me. You're just gonna see the show notes. Very Breath of the Wild. I can't speak to Fable. I've never played Fable. But from spectator perspective, yeah, I could see the Fable.
Sable.
Oh, Sable. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Still haven't played Sable yet, but yes, very much more comparable to Sable. Got it. I was like, maybe Fable. I don't know. But yeah, from the last trailer we got, very Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, where you have the abilities you get in here again are just like the bomb and like a lasso. You can kind of like pull tree trunks down, or like again in the footage you see like you're about to pull a platform across so you can make it further in the level. But some of the things we saw were like a platform you kind of pulled from the ground like you did in Breath of the Wild, and very similar. I don't think... No, maybe I would. Yeah, if someone was like, what's a game I compare it to? I think Breath of the Wild's a really good comparison. But I also don't think it's the same way you describe Genshin as like Breath of the Wild. I don't think it's the same thing. I think it's very similar with the spells, but combat-wise, it kind of does its own thing from what Zelda is. No durability on the weapons so far, so I'll take that.
Okay. Yeah. And like, one of the things that drew me to this game is that you like have these moments where you're just relaxing as well. Were those like prominent in the playtest?
So far, I really only got one section to explore the world and like relax, to say. Again, you start in the one level, you kind of get to talk to Alex, you do the second level, and then you outro the game with like exploring. By that point, I think you've met 3 of the people around town, one being Alex, so you get to go talk to 2 of the ones you already know and then introduce yourself to another individual. I basically would meet the person, get the credits, reload the game, go meet the next person, roll credits, go back, meet the next person. So I got to meet everybody and see like what they give you, what they have to say. The one is like a set of kids and you're like, hey, what's it like living in Hinterberg? And you're like, I mean, we're just kind of kids and we don't really like it here, but adults are dumb, I guess. Like that's kind of their vibe. Again, the other one is Travis. So as you meet them, he's telling you like, go take the picture. You'll do this. Thanks for being my friend. You meet at like this cool, like nightclub type deal. It's fun to explore. I think Animal Crossing is a little off base, but for comparison, yeah, you're going to talk to the people around town. There are some dialogue choices. I don't know how crucial they were to like, I picked the right thing or didn't. Like the one little old man you meet, he's like, there's a treat over on the shelf I really like. I wonder what it's called. And you have to pick between the 3. You go, oh, that's what it was called. Yes, please go bring me one of those. I loved it. And I think he gave me magic boost, I think, when I finished that conversation with him.
Okay.
Assuming the world continues to expand like that, and I'm seeing more and more of like, here's people I met, or here's someone I fell in love with, here's someone that like I don't know how deep the relationships go, if it's like a dating marriage type deal, like we're going Stardew levels with it, or if it's just like, oh, your friendship has skyrocketed with this individual, you get these stat boosts, you get these items. I've only gotten to see so little of that so far, but I can see where it's going to evolve to with how deep the relationships will get, and what that means for my upgrades. I guess I have to see it in practice to lock in and be like, yeah, this guy's going to be my favorite. I think I'm going to dig Travis so far. He seems fun, but I'm waiting for that one extra character. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm down bad. Oh, I'm down bad for this person. She's so hot. She's blah, 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 blah. But
they're saving that for the full game.
Oh, they have to be. They have to be. I'm thinking if they just take like Byleth from Fire Emblem and then slap her in the game, and I'm like, yes! Ah, I'm in love. Let's go. But yeah, I got into the playtest for it, so I got to play a little bit early. I don't know how long the playtest runs. I would assume like a week, 2 weeks. But the game comes out July 18th, I believe, on Steam and Xbox Game Pass, if that's correct. Yeah. But yeah, one I've been looking forward to all year, or at least since they announced it. And when I'm with those little bit of butterflies, like what if it doesn't feel as great as I want it to? Combat, again, like I said, not perfect. Definitely other games with better combat, but didn't deter me from wanting to continue to play or looking forward to the rest of the game coming out. So yeah, very excited to drop this one. I would love a PlayStation release personally, but we'll accept Game Pass.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get into the play. Like I got into the playtest, but I haven't managed to play yet. But I hope it's gonna be up for like the next couple of days. I'm gonna have some time in the weekend, so fingers crossed.
I would hope so. I'd say honestly, maybe 2 hours to beat. It's not very long to get through both the levels, and then oh, I bet this, I did this, got to talk to these people, blah blah blah. I think it'll be square if you, just play through that over the weekend.
All right, I will.
But that Dungeons of Hinterberg preview, can't wait to play more. If you guys are interested in Dungeons of Hinterberg, let me know in the comments. It's a good time. Before we move on to what you've been playing, Tofr, I have another Tofr in my life who's been playing an indie game. Chris Tofr. I mean, you're both Chris Tofr. That's weird. Chris RV2 has been playing a review code for me. He's been playing Harvest Hunt, which is a horror roguelike game that came out is coming out next week. I think it's on the list. I don't know. We'll ask Past Danny about that. So Past Danny, take it away. Hey guys, Past Danny here, and we are sitting down with the Christopher_RV2, Chris RV2, because Christopher's not the channel. But Chris, you like your horror games?
Oh, absolutely. I thrive on them.
Yeah, you like your roguelikes?
Yeah. Come on now. Like this is part of the genre. It's a new genre I'm absolutely loving.
There you go. So I got a key for a game called Harvest Hunt, and I said I probably won't have time to fit this one in. But does anybody want to check this one out? You said you were down. You'd come on the show and talk about it. So we're talking about it. So go ahead, tell us a little bit about Harvest Hunt here. What are we looking at? What's this game?
Okay, so Harvest Hunt. It's following the horror aesthetic, where the whole general gist of the game is that it's initially going to set you free on like a farmland between like windmill, a tree, and then some like a house village, regardless. The whole objective of you to do is to collect a certain amount of ambrosia to finish out the season. Because that's kind of like the end of the loop. So you have to get between like day 1 through 5, you have to get like a set amount that tells you before after like the whole like no tools thing pops up. It'll be like, oh hey, you need to collect this much throughout the week to successfully get through the harvest. Yeah. So like while you're on the map, and the part of the thing that I really enjoy about it, especially like after like figuring out like the whole like pitchfork system of like the distance, like I have to stab them 3 times, the devourer 3 times to get them. So while you're going around trying to find like these pockets of ambrosia and collect them, the devourer is also doing the same thing, and he can eat it, and he can eat the ambrosia as well as you eventually.
Oh,
But dude, it's horrifying. Sometimes it'll just like pop up, just boom, and then it's I gotta hide. No, get me out of here.
Yeah. So I'm interested, right? So I got an email last year sometime during a Steam Next Fest from a different PR team. They're like, hey, do you want to check out this demo? My trial period's out there. I played it. I don't think this game was for me. I'm like, it didn't seem in my wheelhouse. Not that I didn't like roguelikes as much as like the horror aesthetic. I felt it was a little too like confined, being like there's really one map, there's one monster, it's doing this. Like, do you feel you're getting enough diversity out of? I don't know how many hours you put into it yet or what you're feeling, but like, are you feeling like each run does feel different, or is it getting that samey vibe that I had?
It's definitely getting like that samey vibe. Because so far I'm on an absolute roll on the one season. So like I don't know like if I hit like new run, is it going to give me a new monster, or am I only going against the Devourer? Because like it's kind of like okay, like after like a couple hours, like I'm like I could definitely feel like the okay, I if it's only the same thing, I got enough out of it, but thankfully, I have some experience with Dead by Daylight, so like I'm kind of like I'm used to that.
Sure.
So it doesn't bother me too much, but for somebody that may be looking at it, they might get what they want out of like the first hour and a half, and then they're like, okay, Steam refund 2 hours.
Okay. So it was interesting, right? We were in a Discord call a few minutes before we hopped in here to record this, and I was watching you play a little bit. I've already seen some of the quality of life improvements from when I played the demo. Again, last year, so seeing some of the stuff they added. So this last run that I basically watched you using like all the pickaxes. In the back of my head, I'm like, I thought there was another item. I don't think you've used the axe today, but the footage we have now shows that. But with the pickaxe more so, I remember struggling to even stab the monster with it, regardless of how close, how far. No matter what I did, I would lunge at it, and you would just see it not do anything. It wouldn't have any effect. So my entire experience of the game was going through the grass, hiding, and I'm like, once it passes me, throw the axe and then haul ass the other way. And that was my strat to do anything. And it seemed like the improvements now, you were actually able to fight the monster like head on. Not entirely. Like, of course, this thing's a big, ugly monster, which I'm sure will show up in the footage here.
Oh, yeah.
But like, it seemed like you were far more capable of having combat in this one than I was when I played it.
Oh, by far, yeah. Because in the footage, you'll once I pick up the pitchfork, you'll probably see I struggle a little bit because like I'm like, oh, it's like a melee weapon, and he's gonna have to get like close to me.
Yeah.
But then there's like that weird like he can like grab you from like a mile away. So there's like that internal thought that's like, okay, well, if that's kind of like the window, like if he gets this close, maybe it's like outside of that. So I'm just going to throw it out until I connect with him. And so I could kind of like gauge the distance. But like once I figured that out, it to the moon.
Okay.
The moon.
Is there anything yet that you're like, I hope this game, oh, here we go. Here's your monster now for video watchers.
Yep. And then I went to throw the axe and I was like, I was used to hold and release, not hold and click.
But yeah, for audio listeners, just a big ass blob of something, just like eating him alive and poisoning him, taking his health. But is there anything so far you're like, I kind of wish the game had this? I feel like this is an hindrance to me playing or having a good time, or is it still like too early to tell where you're at?
It's still a little too early. I definitely want to put some more time into it because like right now, like I'm in like the stages where like I'm like, okay, I figured out how to play the game, what I'm doing, and I know how to navigate it. Now I'm kind of putting the gears towards what would I put to like just like kind of like improve it.
Yeah.
Cause like as like the seasons progress, like you get more like card rewards, which there's like little caskets you can hide in that have like a red like aura around them that the Devourer cannot see you through. So like if he's chasing you and you're running, you could just dip in there, hide, and he can't see you.
Right.
Because that was like one of the things that I was like, I really wish there was this, and then I got it.
That was a cool thing to see while watching you play earlier. I was just like, damn, maybe I didn't buy the upgrade, but I did not see that when I was playing. So I'm like, that would have been like so much nicer. I was constantly just running, hiding in the grass. I'm like, is he going to walk by? No, he's not going to walk by. He got me. Damn it. So, Yeah, no, I definitely, like I said, I saw some quality of life improvements, some more things added. And again, maybe they were in the game and I just didn't get to them, but seeing them in action, I can definitely see the improvements this game's had in the last year. So it's cool to see them continue to add to it. And I'm hoping, just from outside looking in, it does. I'm imagining it is just the one monster, the Devourer, because I think that's pretty lore heavy. It is like,
yeah, 100%.
This season, every season, this Devourer comes out. So whether it's the Devourer multiplies or gets new abilities or how that evolution changes in the gameplay, do you see a vision of how the game, I guess, ends? I guess roguelikes typically aren't known for ending. I maybe say it after all playing Hades 2 these last 2 weeks. But for me, it looks like, cool, go out, plant the things in the skulls, go again. And like, when do you succeed? Or is it one where it's like the goal is to die? Like, finally, you made it far enough, your character died, do a new one. Do you see like an end?
So I think it just literally might just be tied to like it's like there is literally two like the amount of ambrosia you have to get is so exceptionally high that it's like even after banishing the Devourer, if you're able to do that, and or just like go running around the map collecting like the pockets.
Yeah,
I think there might just be like too much. That's like, okay, well, here's you made it through this many seasons, you're done.
Yeah.
Because like another part of like the lore that I think would like be like pretty cool, like mentally, was like they have like enough of like ancestors that are like helping you go against and fight this Devourer. I think it would be neat, because if it is like this and I just haven't got there yet, cool. But if not, throwing it out there, free idea, free real estate. After like you complete like as many seasons as you have like ancestors, it would be really nice if there was like this like one final like all of like your ancestors helping you just put this thing away and just like ending this. Just like, okay, we're putting our foot down. All of us are together. You can't stop all of us. But I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I think it's cool. Again, I don't think this is a game for me after my demo. Getting the emails like, hey, do you want a key for it? I kind of held off. Once again, I don't think I formally said it, but I did receive a key from this from Neon Hive. So thank you again for that. And giving Chris the opportunity to check us out for the podcast. I don't see a world where I go back to this one myself. I'm glad you're digging it. It seems like it's definitely your vibe.
Oh yeah.
I guess I'm just interested for the masses, right? How many people are going to find the thrill after the first hour? Like, are they going to continue to upgrade things and see more from it? Or are they going to be like, okay, well, even these upgrades, it's still same map, same monster, same loop. It doesn't feel different enough, like how that's going to feel. So I'm going to just see how that evolves as the game comes out later this month.
Right. Because like right now, like everything feels like everything is like tied to the cards, like what, like the monsters deck and your deck, like literally everything is tied to that.
So tell us more about the cards. Like when you're picking the cards or buying the cards, like what does that typically look like? What are some of the cards that you've seen?
So like some of like the cards I've seen is like the getting like the casket. That's one of them. Like you have like a random chance of getting it. I just happened to get it early enough that was great. The hatchets are like another like ranged option, so that way you could just like sit back like a little further. And then like whenever like you take damage, there's like those like little mounds with like the sticks on them. You saw them a little bit on like the gameplay to like help like regain health. There's some that literally are like, okay, we're gonna give you like an extra 5 every time you use one of these, and it stacks throughout that season. So like it definitely feels like a lot of them are like, it's like finding like what you're doing and then just giving yourself benefits, like the moving a lot faster like while crouching. If you don't have the like the caskets to hide in, that's perfect because you can just crouch and go zoom in. But yeah, like a lot, and like the Devourer has like a lot of nasty ones too that like really like they ultimately change the way you have to play too, which I think is like a little more of like a unique experience, because it's like we get some good ones, they get the devastating ones. Like there's like somewhere like he like the water is poison. And there is a lot of water in these, so like it makes like navigating through like that area of the map like a lot harder to traverse, because like you can't just run through the water. Like you have to like run on the bridge, which is making a lot of noise. That's telling the devourer, "Hey, I'm here."
Yeah.
So what the future of that looks like, I kind of wish we got some like stronger ones, but
Okay.
like I don't think I've seen all of them.
Yeah, there's still more
I
to
will
find
preface that.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's cool. I think there's always unique things, different indies out there. And again, as I sit here and look at it, I'm like, I don't think any more of like my time will go into it. But I'm hoping someone out there watching is like, no, wait, this looks cool. I think I'm into the horror roguelike vibe. I wanna play some more.
Yeah, because like it definitely feels like a unique vibe. Like especially because like just to circle back to like what I was saying earlier, like like the two different ways you can like approach it is like it kind of gives you like a little bit of something for like everyone. It feels like because like I'm not so much a stealth gamer. That's not my forte. Like it's like I can crouch around and I I'll like tiptoe around the area. But if I have a way to attack something, I'm doing that. So like being able to pick up the pitchfork and like fight back it's definitely the way to go for me, at least.
Cool beans. Any other final thoughts on Harvest Hunt here? Anything else you want to attribute before we sign this one off?
I mean, I think I said everything like I really said. I mean, like again, like it's probably gonna be like a little tough, but I'm definitely looking forward to put some more time into it to just like see how much of it changes after the first run, the first gameplay, the first game loop.
Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much. Chris, thank you again for joining me here, talking about some Harvest Hunt.
Me.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Neon Hive again for providing a key for this review here. If you guys would check out the game, Harvest Hunt, it's going to be available on Steam starting on May 22nd. Big thing for Neon Hive, I think they gave me this key like a month in advance. So we've had it for a while. Chris finally got a chance to play it. So definitely got an early look. But you guys will be able to play this in the coming weeks if it looks interesting to you. But now back to Danny and Tofr talking about whatever they left off on. Oh no, Chris, plug yourself.
Hey guys, like Danny said, Chris_RV2. It's on all socials. I do stuff sometimes, mainly Fridays and Saturdays because work is heavy. But yeah, Danny.
Yeah.
Because Chris and then your other co-host Tofr.
Chris
you get the
Tofr?
other half of the name. You guys got the full name on the episode. I had to do that at least once. I made the joke multiple times off recording, but this one I had to do.
Then you send it back to Tofr. Send it back to Tofr.
All right. So Danny and the other half of my name, back to them.
Wow, Chris, that was super engaging and exciting. You did a great job, friendo. Now, other Chris, Tofr, what's poppin'? So
I didn't get to play a lot of video games lately because I just moved house and things have been just like busy and hectic and work and stuff. But the time I did have, I managed to put into 1000 X Resist.
Yes.
Like I've only managed to play 2 hours of it.
Okay.
But it's fantastic already.
I'm super interested because I haven't played the demo, and I keep downloading it to check it out. So like, you basically tell me here now is gonna be like the first thing I really, really know about it. So I'm.
Oh really?
Yeah. Like I haven't touched it. I've seen the trailers and everything, so I have like an idea, but like I haven't got my hands on it. So this is very much like you're giving me my first blush of this for real. So it's got to be good.
Okay.
Well, yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
You play as Watcher, who is a clone of the All-Mother. And the Watcher is tasked with returning inside the All-Mother's memories. But the thing is, at the start of the game, you kill the All-Mother. Dun dun dun. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of evil.
So the All-Mother used to be a girl called Iris, who was an Asian American high school girl with a pretty flawed personality.
Okay.
But then years ago, when she was still in high school, an alien invasion spread an unknown disease all over the world. But for some reason, Iris turned out to be immune to the virus. But now the Earth's surface is a no-go area, with the All-Mother and her clones forced to live underground. Along with your sisters, who have all been named after their function instead of having actual names. You
Okay.
serve the All-Mother, all with the purpose of returning the Earth to a habitable planet. But, there's a but.
Million
All of
bucks.
that comes crashing down when you discover a terrible secret, turning what starts out as a coming-of-age story into a drama on a global scale.
So when you looking at this, I get like Scarlet Nexus vibes. I don't know if you've played that or even heard of it.
I have heard of it, but I haven't played it.
Okay, so weird anime, not Dark Souls. It's not Dark. It's a third-person action adventure type deal. This gives me a lot of vibes of that. So how, if we were like compared to like some other kind of another game or another genre in terms of the exploration or stuff, like what are we looking at here with this one?
But the thing is, there's literally no action scenes.
Okay.
It's basically you're walking around and you're talking to people and you're figuring out how memories are supposed to go. But you jump in time.
Yeah.
When you're stuck in one timeline and you can't get past like a certain gate or door,
Okay.
you jump to that same place in a different timeline so you can actually enter. And basically that's most of the gameplay. There's also when you dive into certain memories, there's like platforming sections.
Okay.
But basically that's it. This is all about the storyline. And let me tell you, the writing, the voice acting, sublime.
Okay. Okay. I'm really interested, right? Because it's the spot where like it's not a walking sim. I don't see it as a walking sim, but action adventure seems a little off base. Is it is visual novel like a fair see visual novel, I think when you're doing the walking and stuff kind of takes away from it. What would be like the genre to kind of like, oh, it's a narrative game. It is like, I guess someone trying to look at this and see where the gameplay comes in, because I have somebody's demo let's play up. Let me give credit here. Pixel Pony on YouTube. So we have like their footage playing in the background. So I guess what's selling someone on the gameplay for this one?
It's all about exploration because you're like you have control over like which place you visit in which timeline. And it's all about you exploring and choosing who to talk to, who to like when to talk to people. It's
nice.
Yeah, and it's just the lore of this game is so rich. Like at the start of the game, I had no fucking clue what was going on. But that's a good thing because the characters were talking as if they lived in this world for so long and things were normal to them. But we can't imagine them being like that. And it feels so rich. There's like this history to all of these characters, and I'm only 2 hours in, so I have no idea if this is gonna be like, I've heard like horror being mentioned.
Ooh, okay.
I've heard like the story of having dual nationalities being mentioned.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff going on here, and I can't wait to like discover more.
Nice. So you say like 2 hours in, how free are you to roam at this point? Is it still pretty linear? Is it like, you said you get to kind of choose which timeline, who you talk to, when or whenever. Is it do you have like a hub area that you're in and you're seeing like big floating doors, or like we could talk to that person or we could talk to that person? Is it more of like an open zone where you see like people standing around and that activates like a scene type deal, like in your head mentally? Are you physically going to a place? Like what's that loop look like?
Well, like the first chapter of the game is entirely set in the high school where the All-Mother used to be Iris.
Okay.
And you spend your time there meeting this girl. I forget her name right now, but you meet this girl that
Becky.
wanted to be who wanted to be friends with Iris.
Okay.
And most of that first chapter is like telling the story of that girl before the invasion happened, which caused like the disease, and then right after the invasion happened.
Okay.
But then the second chapter goes back to like the world where you live with your sisters.
Yeah.
So like the present for these characters.
Got it.
So I'm not sure if like the present is gonna be like this hub area for the rest of the game.
Gotcha.
You're gonna be diving into a lot of memories because as a watcher, that is your function. You have to like witness everything that happened to the All-Mother to make her become the All-Mother.
That's pretty cool. I'm digging the vibe of what it like looks like. I can't say it's one that's like at the top of my priority. As I like look at the rest of May, and then how many of these May games will I still be playing in June when like it's all said and done. And then right now June's looking a little dry. I've been trying to prep my like, here's 10 games coming out in June, or here's 12 games coming out in June, and like my list is like 5 right now. So like maybe June is there to be like, hey, May was loud, June's not. Enjoy, like you play catch up, and if that's the case, let's do it. But I know #Bloods in June, so I'll drop everything for that one. But yeah, no, this sounds really cool. I'm excited for you to get deeper into it and explore more of it. I know you were looking forward to this one for the last month or two. You've mentioned like, dude, 1,000 Extras is gonna be a banger. So
yeah, it's not getting like the hype it deserves.
Yeah,
I mean, like the timing is a bit off.
Sure,
I get that, but still, like I'm just having a look. It sits at 134 reviews at the moment on Steam.
Okay, we talking
is not that much.
Positive, overwhelmingly positive. Where are we at with that one?
Very positive.
Very positive. Okay.
Yeah, 97%. 97% is positive. So.
That's a sign, people. Go play 1,000 Extra Resist. Is that just Steam? Is that on consoles anywhere? Do we know?
It's also on Switch somehow.
Okay. Listen, you little mobile gamers, like a little handheld things, go play on your Switch. 1,000 Extra Resist. Hell yeah.
Yeah. But what have you been playing then?
We're playing a couple things redacted. One will get a full review, so I won't talk about that one here quite yet. However, a game at PAX that I sat in line to play, but never got to because each time I'd be in line, the line was so long. I'd get to the front of the line, I have an appointment. I get back in line, I get to the front of the line, I had another appointment. So I'm like, next year for PAX, less appointments. So we'll figure it out. We'll find people with the booths. But I finally got to play the demo for Enter the Chronosphere. This is an upcoming roguelike. It's turn-based in one of those, the entire world moves as one. So like imagine Super Hot if it was turn-based.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Top-down adventure. Right now there's only 2 playable characters, but in their menu selection, they have like 3 or 4 of our, probably more than that, 5 or 6 different characters you can see that will eventually be there. But yeah, in the typical roguelike fashion, so you have your 2 weapons, you roam around, you fight people as you defeat them. You're picking up their weapons, different health packs on each level. I guess you're not picking up stuff from the enemies. I don't know why this footage is just me sitting here doing nothing. Here we go. But yeah, everything you do runs the clock. Reloading, switching weapons, attacking. There's 2 I think Marcia is the character I'm playing in the footage here. There's currently 2. It's again, I think Marcia and then Altar, which is like a big old bear. I prefer Marcia. I think her kit's a little bit better for me. She has a dodge roll, which still counts time, but when you're sitting there, like if you're watching, just watch me walk into a grenade like a dumbass. But yeah, everything you do, healing, presses forward the clock. And what your goal is to defeat everyone in the room or just find the exit and get out. But as you pick up different weapons and open chests, you'll get upgrades and perks that kind of put it in your favor. Like there's one I found, I threw the run because I'm stupid, and I like threw a shot a weapon for the first time that dropped a bunch of grenades around me, so I ended up killing myself. But the upgrade I got, whenever you switch weapons, automatically reloads. So that time you typically pull out a weapon, reload, that's like 2 turns. That was all done in one. So it made like resourcefulness and being ready to take on the fight so much easier and so much like more advantageous for me playing. And then I shit the bed and died. But the gameplay loop's really fun. I will say I had one moment last night that frustrated me a little bit. And I was in a Discord call. My buddy Kenai is like, well, Danny, what if you did this? But the maps kind of spawn in. One seemed impossible to do. There are a bunch of big open gaps that you can't cross, you can't walk around. And the exit was surrounded by these things with only one path that was blocked by a wall. Mm-hmm. And you can't blow up the wall or delete it. So I'm like, I'm not sure what's happening. It turns out there was just an itty bitty bit of space in between the outside wall and the wall blocking the door that when I tried to walk into, it didn't work. And of course, it was one of those cases of like, did you try? I'm like, I've tried like 4 times, but I'll do it again. And then the 5th time it worked. I'm like, dog, I'm not stupid. I'm not dumb. But that was one of those like weird nitpicky things where I'd be like, maybe nitpicky is like being a little reductive of it. But it was one of those things like that was one I'm like, I'm not having fun with this struggle. This is not ruining my experience. It made me go, if this is going to happen a lot, I'd rather play something else. And again, that sounds insanely extreme for the amount of fun that I had. That was the only level I had that issue with. I'm not entirely sure why it kind of spawned in that way. I think it was a little bit clearer, or if there was the ability to like nudge the camera one way or the other, it wouldn't have been a problem. But this is like the darling from PAX. Everybody got in line to play this. So many people were raving about it. Out of the 2 or 3 podcasts I was on, we always brought up Enter the Chronosphere. The 3 guys I went to PAX with, they all loved it. So the fact that I finally got my hands on it, super great. From what I understand, the way they plan to roll out the game is leading up to release. They're going to put out multiple demos, each one introducing new maps, new characters for you to try out. And they're almost like releasing this game in early access through demos. So like, here's the new demo, new character, enjoy. And then I guess that exists until the next demo, which adds a new character, whatever. So it's almost like playing the game for free in early access until it's fully released. Wow. That might be a little like, it might not be on point for how they described it, and what they'll actually do. But it seems really cool, the way they're letting people kind of play and experience this to then be like, cool, now you can pick it up on Steam for full price. But I definitely plan to play more of this one. This seems like a great Steam Deck game. I play with mouse. I played with mouse and keyboard, so I don't know how well the aiming and all feels with controller. But assuming it's just like twin stick shooter, I think this will be baller. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. Does it have? I'm looking at the gameplay right now. This is the first time I'm seeing it. Does it have like when you finish a level? Does it show you like your run in real time?
No, it does not do that. Yeah. That'd be pretty lit though. That'd be lit if it did. Yo, listen, devs, if you're thinking, that'd be pretty cool.
John Wick Hex did that.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty cool.
I have that one in my library. I haven't played it yet, but I bought it on sale a few months back, so I have to play John Wick Hex yet. No, it doesn't go like, here's all the steps you made. I guess depending how long you take, it would be a long replay for all that. Because you are still kind of exploring the level to find items. If you look on like, again, the gameplay at the top, you see like it's showing me where the chest is. So I have to go up and get that, which will either give me a new weapon or a new upgrade. So like at the bottom, I have 3 upgrades now. 1 puts up a shield every time I shoot, which was super helpful. I picked that one up every time I got it. But if you're like standing off against a guy and you're both about to fire, I can shoot, hit the enemy. He can shoot, hit my shield, and I'm still full health. So that was a super helpful one. The other one's chainsaw. So if I activate that one, it just dropped a chainsaw in front and on both sides of me. So if I'm surrounded, I can just and hit everything at once. Nice. And then the third one's a nuke, which is probably the one I was referring to where I just nuked myself. You throw it out and it drops, and then you see the big ring where it's going to go. And again, it won't go off until like the time goes, but that is based on your steps. So if I go to take a step, that thing is ticking. So if I'm dead in the center, my 5 steps are remaining to get out of the ring. I'm like, I'm dead. I'm not making it out. But there's also an upgrade that's like a jetpack where if you like thrust forward, that probably could have got me out in time, but I didn't have it. So yeah, I got smacked with that one. But no, Chronosphere is really cool. Like I said, I feel like I got like angry and annoyed with the one part, with like the wall not being able to get through, but that might just be long day. Fuck, I just want to get through this. I don't know why I can't like progress through this level. But yeah, all things considered, the game's awesome. Just from this demo snippet, excited to play more.
I can imagine it. It looks fantastic, and like you said, it looks like it could be a real Steam Deck game. So that's a big plus for me.
Yeah, fingers crossed, dog. If I can sit upstairs, it's in the way I played Hades, where I'm like, I'm ready for bed, but like, am I ready for bed? I'm ready for Steam Deck gaming until bed. This seems like one I could do a run. I could have done better. And I'm like, I can go to bed. Now I'll run another one and then have another hour of me doing the thing. So, nah. Chronosphere is great. As someone who didn't get to play it at PAX like all my friends did, I'm glad I finally got my hands on it. I definitely see the hype. I'll still have the lingering like, damn, that one thing pissed me off, but I don't think I would use that to describe to anyone why they should play Chronosphere. I would just be like, one time I got pissed, but I can't be mad at the game for how cool it is.
Okay, but you played another game, didn't you?
I did play another game. I'm not through this one yet, and I'm trying to find my footage so I can pull it up, but I don't know where I put the damn thing. Oh, right, I color-coded my folders now. I have upcoming reviews folder. That's where it's at. I've been playing Crow Country.
Nice.
So Crow Country is a classic PS1-inspired horror game, and I say that not in the loosest way. It's still a horror game, but I don't do horror. Unless I'm streaming it, I don't vibe with like the Resident Evils and stuff, Evil Within. They just never really hit me that way. This one has zombies and junk in it, but I'm not getting, so far, not getting jump scared. I'm not like feeling the survival rush. I gotta get out of here. I gotta run. Someone's gonna kill me. Everything's pretty slow and pretty methodical. So like it is more based on the amount of ammo I have, the accuracy of my guns, and everything like that. But you're playing as, I guess, a reporter. I might have missed that important line of dialogue, but you're exploring this rundown amusement park called Crow Country. And the owner has gone missing. And as you're exploring, like you're trying to find the owner. And I'm not sure what knowledge our character has where she's like, I know he's here. To be like, well, he went missing 3 years ago. What do you mean you know he's here? But everyone else you're running to inside is like, oh, he's probably in his office. He's a busy man. You can't really. So it's like very like, kind of sus in here. I don't know. But I think fans of like classic Resident Evils, you can play this with the tank controls where you use the D-pad left and right to turn and then forward to walk, back to go back. Or if you like to play it, you can play with thumbsticks. So left and right analog sticks to move, forward, turn, full rotation. I've been doing with thumbsticks. Okay. I'm not for the tank controls, not in a horror game. That's not for me. I'm good. But it's constant puzzles. I've seen it takes like 4 hours to beat. I'm probably at about 5 hours now, so I have to assume I'm close-ish to the end. But yeah, you pick up different health packs. You start with just a regular pistol, but you find a shotgun. There's a magnum. There's more than enough healing items, unless you're really just running in there to get your ass beat by zombies. Like, I haven't been caught that many times, so I've stayed pretty consistent with health. There are fun notes all around that are very like game tutorial-esque, where it's like, hey, if you're not sure where you're going, open the map. And each one of the save rooms has like a catalog of all of the notes you found. So you can like skim through it and be like, oh, cool, here's the thing. I missed the thing. But there's also notes from all the different like employees that have worked there in the past before it shut down. So the one guy will be like, I don't know who took the secret trident, but we need that for the birthday party. And the kid can't get his presents without it. Whoever took it to such and such, you better go get it. I'm not going there. It's too scary. So now you're like, okay, so to get this thing that I need to go get the trident, which is in this spot. That spot's locked. So how do I open this? Oh, I need to open activate the generator. Where's the generator? I found that from another note where homie was like, I deactivated the generator because I couldn't charge my phone. I'm making that one up, but whatever. Like there's notes upon notes that tell you this person's here. This person took this thing here. We can't get in because we lost the crank. Somebody took it downstairs to operate one of the other machines. So you go down to that machine, you grab it, and then bring it back up, activate everything you need. There's just a bunch of fun puzzles. Again, as someone who like doesn't like horror games, I went in like, I played the demo last year, and I went into that a little like skeptical. Like, I don't know how hard this is gonna be, but it is very like horror of the classic PS1 generation. I'm not playing like a Dead by Daylight, a guys, you can see I can't think of horror games off the top of my head because I don't play them. But like the games that prevent me from playing horror games, this isn't that. There are a bunch of traps. The amount of times I've stepped in a bear trap and be like, shit, they got me. But you can just quickly walk away, pause, take an antidote if it's poisoned, use a med kit to heal. Like it's got that Resident Evil style healing system to it. It's fun. It's fun. I'm really excited to finish it. Puzzles, finding all the, here's the notepad, go back, here's the number pad, boop, 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 open the door. This is also a guy, I haven't used him enough. If you're watching the YouTube one, there are these little like fortune tellers around. And if you don't know where you're going, you can go talk to him and he'll be like, interesting. I heard that the door upstairs is still locked. I wonder if that bronze key will do anything. And then that bronze key, you go up there. Oh, I found it. Got it. Yeah, it's really fun. More fun than I expected it to be. I'm excited to wrap it up. Hopefully this weekend. We'll see if I get back to it now to wrap it up before I jump into the other like 3 keys I have to play. But it's a fun one. I think if you like the vibe, if you want that classic PS1 style game, but you're all like, I don't know if I'm into horror, I think this is very accessible for horror. I won't say horror fans. I think I could see horror fans be like, it wasn't scary enough. And I'm like, cool. Yeah. That's good for me. I like not scary enough. I like the vibe without the actual horror in it. And I can fuck with that.
Yeah. It looks adorable.
Yeah.
Like for a horror game.
Yeah.
But that's probably just my age talking. Like, I still feel bad that like PS1 games are now the retro games.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
See, my PS1 generation was like, I was like Crash and Spyro, like almost exclusively with like video game tie-ins included, where I'm like, I'm playing the Rugrats game. I'm playing the Dragon Tales hide and seek game. So like a lot of my old people game or like my classic games are still just like non-existent, or we're like, oh, no one's making the Dragon Tales hide and seek game in 2024. But if you did, I'd play it. If I get a 2D platform ready to go hunt for dragons, I'm pretty lit. I'm just saying, indie devs, where you at? I know what you're about.
Get on it.
Yeah. Code Crunchy is cool. I don't know how much this one ran. I should mention I did get a review key for this one, so important to note. I should have said that at the front. I'm trying to get better at that. I'll put the thing in the edit, but yeah, Code Crunchy is really fun. All
right.
Would recommend for almost horror fans. Let's see. But with those reviews out of the way, how about we talk about the indie releases this week? Oh God, hey May, what's poppin'? So between the dates of May 16th and May 22nd, we have a bunch of upcoming indie games you can check out across all platforms. Well, most platforms, we'll list them. Starting off with RoboBeat coming out on May 16th. That is the day this podcast goes up. No, it's not. 2 days after? What's the date?
2 days after. No, tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. It is the 15th. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we're good. Yeah. So the day this episode comes out, it's on there. RoboBeat on May 16th for PC. Pool Party on May 16th for PC, Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. Read Only Memories Neurodiver coming out on May 16th for Steam, Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. Realm of Ink drops on May 16th for PC and Early Access. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. Jesus, the 16th as much as the 9th? Holy crap. Realm of Ink, yeah, May 16th for PC and Early Access. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes on May 16th for PC and Early Access. It might not be Early Access. I think I might have copy-pasted that. Cozy Caravan on May 16th for PC and Early Access. The Rising on May 17th for PC. Finally, May 16th is over. I'm sure there's more I missed, too, that are like also coming out the 16th. Little Known Galaxy dropping on May 20th for PC. Coffee Caravan, not to be confused with Cozy Caravan, dropping on May 20th for PC. Paper Trail dropping on May 21st for PC, Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. Isles of Sea and Sky dropping on May 22nd for PC. Venture to the Vile dropping on May 22nd for PC. And Harvest Hunt, which you have previously heard about from Chris RB2 himself, coming out on May 22nd for PC. Out of Early Access? That's a weird one, because I think it's listed for Early Access, but I don't think it's currently available. So I think it was in Early Access, and if you bought it, you might have it. I'm not really sure how that whole thing goes. So I guess this is 1.0 coming up soon here on May 22nd. So yeah, games for days.
That's quite a list. That's quite a list. I'm really like, if I had to pick a couple of games from that list, it would be Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, because that's made by the developers that made Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Another one. Yeah, it's another one of my favorite games.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, like, it's not going to get the biggest press, I guess, but Coffee Caravan, I played the demo of this.
Okay.
And that is just such a blast. It looks cozy.
Yeah.
But it's a roguelike.
No shit.
Yeah.
That I didn't know. Hold on. Was that demo like, was that a Next Fest thing, or like is it still out there?
Yeah.
Can I go?
Next Fest thing.
Fuck. Oh, shit, I want to play Coffee Caravan.
Yeah, it's really good. Like, it starts out easy enough, but when things get rougher, it gets really rough.
Hell yeah, dude. That sounds sick. Yeah. I follow them on Twitter, so I've seen the footage, but I haven't seen, like, I guess the gameplay of it. I've seen, like, oh, it's very cute. It's very, like, Animal Crossing-esque. Or maybe, am I confusing Coffee and Cozy again? There's Coffee Caravan and Cozy Caravan. Which one's with the frogs?
That's Cozy Caravan.
That's Cozy Caravan. Okay, so Coffee Caravan is the rogue. Okay, got it. Okay. Yeah. Then
and the demo is still up, so if you want to play it.
For Coffee Caravan.
Yeah.
Okay. Bet. Okay. Now we in this thing. All right. That's going to be, maybe that's a video. Like, what's the difference between Cozy and Coffee Caravan? That's crazy. No, the fact that 2 games, both with Caravan and starting with C, like, are in the same week is wild.
It is.
I'm waiting for,
it
like,
reminds me of the whole Outer Wilds and Outer Worlds.
Yes, it is. I just have, like, the GameStop flashbacks of someone being like, I wanted to buy Cozy Caravan and you sold me coffee. I'm like, ma'am, you asked for Coffee Caravan. Or actually, Grandma, you came in and said, it was something Caravan. I'm like, coffee? That's the one. You go home like, I wanted Cozy. You're crazy. You're stupid. GameStop's not worth my time. The horror stories. GameStop employees, you get it.
I used to work in, like, a video rental store, so I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Listen, treat retail workers better. Be nice out there.
Yeah, exactly.
But yes, those are the games you can look forward to playing this week. If you're going to be picking up any of those, be sure to let us know in the comments which ones you're playing and let us know what you think of them as you play them. And to round out this episode, we've got another fun write-in. Don't forget, if you're listening to the show and you're like, man, I wish I could ask a question to Tofr and Danny. I wish I could tell them about my favorite indie game. You can. Just use the form in the description, the Google form. Simple 3 questions, your name, a couple other different things. You can write in just like Dinglehopper did, who writes in to tell us what their favorite indie game is, who says Cuphead, because Danny likes it so much, and it's honestly the best game to ever exist. Dinglehopper? I feel like I should know who you are. I don't recognize the username. My apologies. You might be like somebody regular in chat that just used Dinglehopper instead of your actual name. I don't know. But either way, I appreciate you. The Cuphead stands, we out here. We doing the damn thing. Mwah. We love Cuphead. I appreciate you for appreciating me.
I'm gonna have to start playing Cuphead now, aren't I?
You gotta. Well, okay. Let me rephrase. You gotta. I would love if everybody on the planet played Cuphead. I understand the barrier to entry is the difficulty. I don't think people understood when this game came out how challenging it is. I aim to not be the FromSoft fanboys for the people that are like, get good. If you really want to play, you'll get good at it. I understand people are going to start Cuphead. The amount of people who said, I got to this boss and I gave up. I'm like, I get it. You made it pretty far. I'm proud of you either way. I wish / hope to someday see more accessibility options for Cuphead that make it a little bit easier. There is a simple mode. I want to say that like locks progression to some degree. I don't think you can get the platinum or the 100%, 1,000 gamer score, whatever, if you do simple mode, because you have to do certain difficulties to beat it. But I think if you're just trying to play through and see the bosses, get the experience on like a simpler mode, or quite literally a simple mode, Cuphead has that option. So you might be able to do that, but it's a hard game. It is a hard game. I put countless hours into it across PC through the Microsoft Store, Xbox, Switch, and PlayStation. For the longest time, that was our like, oh, we finished our game before stream's done. What do we do? You guys want to speedrun Cuphead real quick? And then play the main game in an hour and be like, cool, it's done. But we live and we dream and we love Cuphead.
All right.
But yes, Dinglehopper, thank you. And again, if you want to be like Dinglehopper and write in and tell us your favorite indie games, you can do that using the link in the description. And with that, Tofr, it's time for you to go to bed. Time for you to get some sleep.
It is.
Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Playlog. If you enjoyed, if you're on YouTube, do us a favor, hit the like button. If you're on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, wherever you're listening, leave us that 5-star review. It helps more people find the show. I'm seeing the numbers in the backlog. I'm saying, we're getting some decent views for like a little bit of podcasts across 8 episodes. Not doing too bad. So I appreciate you guys for supporting the show across all your favorite services. Tofr, if little scrubby dubby dub dubs listening to the show wanted to find you on the internet, where would they go? You like scrubby dubby dub dubs.
I like that. People can find me, or scrubby level dub ducks can find me on Play Nice Kids with underscores or periods.
One
depends
of them
on the platform.
Yeah. You have to make like a beacons or like a solo or something. It's just a link tree that just has like this one's underscore, this one's periods, this one's underscores and periods.
I do have a link tree, but yeah.
Okay, there you go. Let me got it. And then of course you guys can find me on all the social medias you're looking for: Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. That's just weird order. YouTube, of course. Speaking of Twitch, if you guys are watching this on the day it drops, we'll be playing some more Animal Well over tonight on twitch.tv/CGDannyB. Last time I got really angry. I got mad. And I didn't even think to talk about Animal Well tonight. Maybe we'll do that next week. But man, I think I hit a spot that I was too early for. And that's on me, but my stubborn ass was not ready to give up. So I spent like an hour and a half doing this part. If you know the big stupid ghost cat, you know what I'm talking about. God, I hate that fucking cat. Someone tried to correct me on Twitter. They were like, I think it's a dog. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I don't care. I just tweeted out, fuck this cat. I was so pissed about it. But no, Animal Well, great game. I should have been better and done like other things to get better at this. But I said, no, I'm beating this. I'm getting this part done. But once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Love you. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.